little bit of transposition, so I'm not sure if this one actually has a name for knight b to d7.
It's the anti-bishop f4 line.
Anti-f4 line, okay, that works for me. So c takes, e takes, bishop to g5, bishop to b4, and I think it's fair to say that it must be Ragozin defense territory with an early knight to d7, knight d2. Knight d2 stops all the, like h6, bishop goes, g5, knight e4 tricks, which is very common in the Ragozin. Say, if I would have played e3, then among other things that black can do, which is castle, c5's playable, and so on and so on. But that would be one of the ideas, knight e4. So knight d2 takes care of that, but then black can switch to playing a sort of a usual Carlsbad structure, Carlsbad maneuvering. So knight to f8, knight to g6, then later h6 to get rid of the pin. And interestingly, in the Ragozin, black does not mind exchanging on c3, right? But now if you play a3, I guess black just goes back. Because what white did... Okay, white has won a tempo, right? But once again, like winning a tempo with a2, a3, and going knight d2 is not necessarily very useful moves, right? Because later on, in order to play for this, for this kind of plan, you will need to move the pawn, the a pawn, for the second time.
Yeah.
So bishop e7, and then knight to g6 and h6 very likely, or sometimes knight e6 as well. Yeah, like knight e6. What was this plan like?
Knight e6,
g6, knight to g7, in order to play bishop f5.
You swap off the light square bishop.
Right. It's Queen's Gambit structure, the Carlsbad structure, right, with somewhat strange placement of both knights, I would say, knight on d2, knight on f8, but no major differences. So it's still very positional, long-term plans, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very tricky opening as well. There are so many different order of moves and similar ideas, but yeah, you just have to be careful because not all the order of moves are the same, although they look very similar. Okay, so far still quite peaceful on this game?
Yep. So moving on. Board 4, Jumabayev against Eriga Isi, and I can see
Catalan.
Ninth move b3 from black, which is not very often, happens not very often. So the Catalan is bishop e7, which is strangely the most natural move in the position, but quite rare. king
it.
to h3 and...
That is a winning move.
Right, but wait a sec. So we know that's it, but do players know? Is there like any chance? Because what I can see is there is king f8, and at least for now, I don't see how do we win immediately.
Probably bring the king
Go
up
with the king,
and try to give a checkmate.
but where is...
King g4. There, you're right there.
But where is the
Green.
checkmate?
Okay, so if you go b3,
Yep.
you go king f5.
And queen f6.
Oof, what is? This is such a nice finish.
Queen f6,
But what
yeah.
happens? Yeah, and
Because originally I thought this, but then the queen
There's
comes
queens,
with
yeah.
a check. But queen f6 takes, b1. Black is even first to promote, and then you promote into
A rook, a rook, a rook, a rook.
Fair enough, yeah. Rook. So, sacrificing a queen
So yeah,
by not promoting into queen. Whoa! But this is much harder line than the other one we were looking at.
Yeah.
Like king runs to f5 and then queen f6, and it's such a beauty. And this is very easy to miss from afar. Like, yep. It's like with black, you opt for this position. You think I go king f8 because there is zero ideas if not for this king march.
Right. But
And-
there's just no risk for white because white can always give a check and just acquiesce to the draw.
No, absolutely.
yeah. So and the check on h8 doesn't give anything because it's just one check, yeah. And once the king goes to g4,
Yeah, g4.
But then what's important? There is no check from g5. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's queen e8. No,
Wow.
this is impressive. King h3. What a game.
so every round, literally every round, we will have some upsets, even on the top boards.
So today we've had some upsets. We saw
Yeah.
Vaishali. She won against Vohidov. We saw Rudik Makarian take down Anish Giri in a great game,
Yeah.
actually. And we also saw, I don't know whether this was a surprise so much, Sindarov also hold Hikaru Nakamura to a draw.
Well, Gukesh losing, it's quite a difference in Elo as well. So I'm not sure.
Like
how-
100 maybe, or less than
I
100.
think more.
Is-
No, I think more. Gukesh is what, 2750?
Gukesh is 2750, and this one, yeah, more than 107 to be exact.
Yep.
So
And
did
further
Gukesh-
on down, we saw that our favorite
Gukesh
streamer, Eric,
played-
also won. Rosen.
Gukesh played b3, but then
Queen
Now
e8.
Queen e8.
after queen e8,
Queen g5.
there's not much to do. Queen f6. No, he played
Oh, Queen f6?
queen f6.
Okay.
Right. If I was to guess, I would say
But
you
you can
well,
still promote,
you
right, and run the king up to
do
h5.
h5, yeah? You promote, and then, yeah, there will be checks, but you go here, and this check no longer works because queen g5, so there'll have to be checks from the back. And eventually this king should be able to get all the way. Wait a second. I'll be sure. I understand it's two queens, yeah, but where does this queen...
Oh, the b3 pawn. You cannot give a check on b3 later. So you can keep going to e5.
Just hide on c8.
Yeah.
Oh, also this one c8 as well, yeah.
And then you go here, like here.
Yeah.
And have a nice dance.
No, I mean at some point.
Yeah.
Now it's already clear. Right?
No, thanks to the
So-
pawn on b3. The check stops.
Otherwise there will be...
Yeah.
maybe it is important. Maybe it is important that the pawn is there. No, seriously, because you'd always give checks from that side. Maybe I know. No, like the king would go to second rank and then to e1. Yeah. That can't be a perpetual check with two queens.
Okay, so Gukesh losing in this position. Can we quickly go over to Viksak against Kartikeyan?
Yeah.
And we see Gukesh desperately trying to get a perpetual check. But, I mean, what do we think about this? Wasn't-
And found some nice tactic, I want to say. Rook e2, yeah, and the game just finished.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. And also Gukesh game just finished and Gukesh resigned.
Wow. And Narayan taking sole
Sole lead.
lead.